What's going on, guys and gals? This is Autotech. So we've definitely put some time and effort into this bike, getting it ready to go off-road and whatnot. You know, radiator guard, front and rear tires, engine cage and skid plates. And I figure it's about time that we go and test it out. So far, I'm off to a very slow start to my day because Cochrane decided to host a rodeo. And of course, this stupid town only has one lane in and out, so, you know, I've been sitting in traffic for probably a good half hour so far. Topped up my fuel because I don't know how far I'm going to have to go between a gas station, and now we are heading west, and we're going to take Highway 40, which is a forestry road north. Looks like things clear up after this set of lights, so I will check back in with you guys once we are on number 40, because you've seen this one in the 1A route, scenic route video, so from here for like another 20 miles or so, it's pretty boring. Alright, welcome to Highway 40 North. The fun didn't start just yet though. I got another about 15 miles or so, 20-something kilometers to get to the forestry area. There's actually a couple of like hamlets and stuff like that, and a small village on this road, so they keep this part of it pretty well maintained and everything, and it's not until quite a ways into it that you start getting into the gravel and whatnot. There's also some good off-roading, like if you have like a 4x4 vehicle or quads or whatever up in these areas, when they don't have like fire bans and stuff like that going on, so that's something to consider. So all in all, I'm going to end up doing probably close to 80 kilometers before I even start hitting the gravel, and then the gravel's going to be like 100 and something kilometers, and then I'll have like 100 and something to get home. So like I was talking about in the tire video, you got to pick a tire that's good for what you're doing, because like pretty well this trip right here, 60% of it's going to be on the road, if not a touch more. So that's where something like that comes in handy, like planning your tires for what you're using them for. This Water Valley area is definitely good scenery, you know, very foothills of the mountains. I wouldn't want to live out here though. I say that a lot. I'm always like, oh, this place is great, but I'll never live here. I think I'm picky about where I'd want to live. And this is the town of Waiporous Village. As you can see, not a whole lot going on here. I don't even think they have like a gas station or a bar, so it's basically like just a bunch of houses. So that's kind of cool. Definitely a good like getaway, like if this was your vacation home or something like that. This bridge coming up here just as you're exiting the town is pretty sweet. It's a one-lane bridge or whatever. You know, obviously two bikes can fit through it, no problem. And as you can see by the tire treads, it's a good burnout spot. I know in previous years, long before the video cameras came out and whatnot, I used to come out here and do some burnouts. All right. Here we go. We're pretty well getting into nothing now. I thought about filming when I first entered the gravel, that maiden on the, exciting stuff. But I was like, nah, it's like 30 feet to this entrance, so who cares? Let's double check something here. Perfect. No cell service. That is exactly the point of this here. So far, they seem to be handling pretty good. We're going to do a quick smoke. I got a weird shirtless dude over there. All right, just out for a strut. I'm going to have a smoke, and then we're going to carry on. 120 kilometers to Sundry. Yeah, that seems like a good spot to stop for lunch or something. Okay, so first things first, what I want to try is I want to see how the traction control on this bike works. So what I'm going to do is I have it on setting 1 right now. So, okay, so it does definitely kill it. That's kind of cool. Alright, so I don't have to worry about, you know, over revving or whatever. So, let's see here. Yeah, so it keeps it from spinning too much. And then we'll loop around one more time here. And then I want to see how the ABS works. So let's get some speed going. And back brake. Oh, that ABS works pretty good, actually. Really increases your stopping time. Let's try the front one. Cool. All right then. So that's with the traction control on the least invasive setting. And yeah. Cool. Very cool. Let's carry on.
I always think it's a good idea to test your stuff before you go and like put it to use, because otherwise I would have had no idea how hard these tires would grab, or you know, like what the traction control would actually do, other than like screwing around with it on the streets and whatnot. These tires seem to definitely ride pretty good. This road is shit. It's always been shit. Like, it's so washboarded out and so ruddy because of idiots abusing it, is what it is. Waiporous is known for like partying, drinking hard, and being like dickheads. So you get people that you know, just basically jump in their truck half cut and just put their foot to the floor, and what that does is it just shreds the road. So like, that's why this road is so like washboardy. But you know, maybe once I get past Waiporous, it'll be a little bit better. I guess we'll see.
It's a lot hotter out here than I thought it was going to be, so I definitely wore a little bit too much clothing. Oh well. You know, I'm starting to think that maybe saddlebags would be a nice thing for this bike, because I'm wearing a backpack with my rain gear in it, and it sucks. Wearing a backpack sucks. The road definitely cleaned up a little bit. You know, it's still not amazing, but that's all right. Definitely, it's definitely cool. Like, I don't know, like this was the whole purpose of kind of putting this bike together, was to kind of do stuff like this. And if I wanted to, I could take one of the little trails up to one of the viewpoints or whatever. Like, I didn't, you know, again, I didn't build this thing to like go bogging through trails and running over stumps and stuff like that. Like, I did it, you know, for stuff like this, and it's definitely pretty cool. Like what I'm doing right now. Took a turn off the road, and I thought I saw a spot that might be worthy of a nicotine fix. So we're gonna see about finding our way there. Oh, there's a skid plate. Well, skid plate works, I can tell you that. Awesome. Look at that. And look at that. just amazing. Look at all that dust everywhere. Well, the tires don't seem to be getting chewed up or anything like that. That's definitely awesome. Oh boy, this thing's going to need a bath. Something fierce at the end of this. Cool. Well, I'm going to have some water sitting in the shade here and top up the old nicotine levels. Alright, time to get back on the highway and start making my way. It's definitely not too bad. I've scraped that skid plate a couple of times, so the ground clearance on this is definitely not super ideal for being off-road, but the torque of this triple definitely seems to be pretty good, so no problems getting up the hill there. Right on. Ugh. I got pretty hot on that stop there, so it's a little bit of a breeze. Just feels so good. This is definitely a slower go. I don't know if it's just my lacking skill level or whatever, but I definitely don't feel much more comfortable over like 60, just like on these washboarded roads. Yeah, it could be the suspension on this too, because if it had like some really good Ohlins or something like that, it would absorb those shocks rather than just skipping across it and not giving me any traction. But I could also just be making excuses too. That's okay though. I kind of had a feeling today was going to be a slower go, so I definitely allotted myself a bunch of time. Not like you could really do a whole lot. Like if you were like, oh man, I got to get there in a hurry. Like, I mean, you can only ride so fast on a road like this. Same deal even if you're in a truck, right? Like you can only drive to the point of where you have traction. So it was a good learning experience. You know, definitely the maiden voyage off highway. So it's pretty successful so far. One of the nice things about being out here in the middle of nowhere, I have not seen a cop in hours. Oh man, I haven't seen any conservation officers either, which is nice because those guys typically have a stick up their ass too. Yeah, check that out. That's kind of cool. Definitely don't see that on the main drag. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of over the whole gravel thing. I've been on it for like a good 60 miles, 100 kilometers, and I've still got like another like 30 kilometers to go. So it's like, ugh, like the novelty's kind of worn off. Especially when I hit those sections of washboarding that are just so bad that it's just like, ugh. It's shaking my helmet, making my neck sore and stuff like that. It's like, oh, like that's not very fun. Yeah, I don't know what else to really say about that. I think we're gonna get some good scenery here. Oh, no, not as good as I was hoping for. That's alright. I was going up the hill and I was like, oh yeah, like there'll be a good clearing, and then you'll be able to see all the river and stuff, and it's, nope, you won't. Well, whatever's going on with this section, you can definitely get some speed going. This is definitely a lot better condition than the other part of it. I think, yeah, what did the last sign say? 58 kilometers to Sundre. I don't know if it'll be gravel the whole way or not, but this is definitely a lot nicer to ride on than that last section there.
And that appears to be the last of the gravel. It was just kind of weird. Went over a Texas gate or a cattle guard, whatever you want to call it, and suddenly it's pavement again. So I guess that concludes our gravel adventure for today. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that was like 130 kilometers on gravel, so that'd be like, what, like 72 miles? So definitely, yeah, it was a long time. Like the novelty really wore off about like 2/3 of the way through, and it was kind of just like, okay, I'm tired of having my teeth chattered and, you know, getting beat up and stuff like that. That last section was sweet, like just ripping 100 down a gravel road, like that was well maintained. That was awesome. That was so cool. But, you know, the really rough washboarded crap was, yeah, that wasn't so cool.
I decided to stop here at Sundre, grab myself some lunch. Got a little over an hour till I get home, and it's going to be boring highway, and knowing the fact that it's the weekend, it's probably going to be a slow go because it's a 2-lane road, and lots of traffic, lots of campers and stuff like that. That sucks. All in all, though, I'd say it was a pretty successful trip. Definitely some spots were very irritating, and I don't know if like suspension upgrade would be the answer. I don't know, like when it comes to that severe washboard type roads, there might not be a whole lot that you can really do about it to make it better. Softer suspension or like better suspension would probably float over it a little bit better. But I think you're still going to chatter your teeth and be skipping around and having a bad time. The tires definitely worked very good on the gravel. They hooked up real good. They, turned good. They stopped good. And yeah, the skid plate works. I mean, definitely scraped it a couple of times going off. That's one of the downfalls of using an FJ-09 kind of off the highway is ground clearance isn't going to be quite the same as a true dedicated adventure bike. Like you take your, I don't know how to pronounce it probably, but your Super Tenier or whatever it is, it's got 7.5 inches of ground clearance, whereas this one's only 5.5. So, 2 inches makes a big difference. That's what she said. Yeah.
The engine definitely has the torque to get you up the hills and whatnot, and it's nice when you're doing those little low speed maneuvers because you don't gotta float clutch too much, so you can just kind of do your thing, and the bike's not gonna stall out on you or anything like that. So that was definitely nice. I'm gonna cut this one off right about here. It's a little bit of a boring trek home, and the point of this was just to get the footage of testing everything out on the gravel, and as you can see, there's some ups and downs. We'll definitely try other places because that number 40 might not be the best highway to test that kind of stuff out, just because it's so trashed all the time. But let me know what you thought down below, or if you have any recommendations for when it comes to hitting that severe washboard type stuff. Thanks for taking the time and watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button.